Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the North East Non-League Show, sponsored by DJ Private Hire, Gateway Accountancy Services Limited, Elite Goalkeeper Academy, Motive 8, and Danny Leigh Plumbing and Heating Services. Tonight is our Northern League season review, and tonight joining us we have Paul Bryson, Ollie Hodgkiss, and Dean Nicholson. Thank you very much, lads, for coming on the show tonight.
Thanks for having us, James.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and I think to put Sky Sports to shame tonight, this panel, honestly, it's better than Soccer Saturday. This we've had a lot of praise on airline the last few days about the guests that we're getting on, but this is fantastic. Lots to chat about tonight. Starting with our guest, Paul, yourself, obviously happy retirement, but what a career it's been in the final season with Berkeley. The lads did you proud last season, didn't they?
Yeah, they did smash it. Yeah, really pleased with them. To finish fifth in my first year in the first division was a magnificent achievement, and all the credit goes to the lads. As I say, they were great. And then, unfortunately, obviously went to Dino's Heaton in the semi-final, and we lost 1-0, and Heaton deserved to win. Got no qualms. And since then, obviously, Heaton went to win the final as well, and deservedly got promoted. So over the moon for Dean and these lads. Yeah.
Yeah, and yourself, Dean, as well. Like you say, playoff winners, Division 1, special way to go up in fantastic crowds, both for home games. Must be a happy man at that time.
Yeah, I think we couldn't complain at the obviously the two home games that we got. I think naturally when you finish third and you know second are at home and the fifth, I think you kind of get that feeling of second would probably beat fifth 9 times out of 10. But we went down to watch the Shildon game against West Auckland. To be fair, West thoroughly deserved to win the game, so we knew going into the game against Berkeley that it was going to be an extremely tough one. But for the winners, it was a huge carrot to have that final at home, especially with the crowds that we've been getting all season and the crowd that we got for the semi-final. So it was huge for us. And to be fair, we're not just saying it because Paul's here, but we said before the game, I felt that was going to be the toughest game out of the two. If we could get past Berkeley on the Thursday, I really fancied us on the bank holiday Monday, and that's what it kind of transpired to be. It was a real blood and thunder game on the Thursday. We managed to get over the line, deservedly so, I felt. And then, like I said, obviously the Monday, which was a huge occasion for everybody, and again, thoroughly deserved, which probably could have been a few more on the day as well, but a massive day for the club, and like I say, thoroughly deserved over the week.
And there's the celebrations finished yet? Plenty partying, wasn't there?
There was, we've certainly enjoyed it, but it's back to business. I'm sure Ollie will certainly tell you it's you get no rest from it. You always kind of promise yourself and your family, and me and Andy have said, look, we'll have a little bit of a rest and stuff, and then the next day the phones are going, and so there is no rest. Unfortunately, we're in the middle of Benidorm trying to speak to players and stuff. So yeah, we've certainly enjoyed it. We've celebrated it well, but like I say, now all focus is heading at the middle of June and getting back in and giving it a right go.
Excellent. And yourself as well, Ollie, Division 2 playoff winners, and what a way to go up. Like you say, the togetherness in that side last season, it's a fantastic year, hasn't it?
Yeah, really good. Obviously exceeded expectation, I think. Sort of when I came in the club, obviously I spoke to Addy, the chairman, and sort of he wanted just to improve off last season. I think the club finished 11th. But I looked at the group of players, and that's part of the reason why I took the job, and I thought to myself, how on earth have they finished 11th? Because I thought they were better than that. Obviously having a couple of years at Horden, understanding the league and understanding what it takes, but over the course of the season we've recruited smartly. We've brought good lads in. We've utilised where we can in terms of contacts, players I've played with in the game, and obviously who I know personally, and try to lean on a few personal relationships. And you're right what you said about togetherness, and like I say, I look at the two lads here, what they've created, and I watched Dino's team in the final against West, and you can see that togetherness. And Bryce, obviously playing against that Berkeley side last season, you could just tell that it's the fundamentals of a good side. And if you're together and the lads want to go through war for each other, then like I say, you can throw whatever money you want at people, but it doesn't always work out like that. It's how you recruit, it's what characters you recruit, and the dressing room kind of pulls you through a little bit. But delighted obviously to get promotion. Really enjoyable way to do it as well, going up to Blue Star. I actually said, I think I said in a little interview after the Bedlington game, I was pleased the game was at Blue Star and not at our place, which sounds mad. But I sort of think that you want to play finals at the best venues, and it's easy to spot that they've got the best venue in the league. So it was nice to go. It was a good occasion, and like I say, me boys did the business, and thankfully we got the right result.
Yeah, fantastic on the night. We're going to start in Division 1, and Bishop Auckland champions, 100 points, Heaton Stand playoff winners, and RCA go down. Fantastic season. Finally got to finish. I mean, the amount of games that are squeezing between the end of the season just went absolutely crazy at one point. But start with yourself, Paul. Overall, the thoughts on Division 1 last season. Which was the standout teams for yourself?
The team that won at Bishop Auckland for me, I think they won it comfortably in the end, and deservedly so. And I'm not sure what Chris is going to do with his squad, but I certainly said the 2 times we played them, that squad would be good enough to hold their own in the division above. You know what it's like when you go up. You need to add the odd player here and odd player there. But honestly, they were that good that they would do well in the next division. You know, but it was really a really competitive league. Shildon, obviously Dino, were Heaton. There were some real good sides in the league. The biggest thing, obviously, because we came up from the year before, the biggest thing I would say, when we're in the second division, you had probably a player in the opposition that you needed to take care of to get the right result. You step up to the first division, you've probably got 4 or 5 players to deal with, you know. So it's a little bit of a different ball game, you know. If you think you're keeping one quiet, you know, somebody else can pop up with a bit of magic, you know. And that for me, that was probably the biggest difference in the 2 divisions, you know.
Yeah, and I think as well, Dave, looking at, obviously Bryce mentioned the top of the table there, but I think that pack behind as well, the likes of yourself, Berkeley, West Auckland, Gisborough, Borough Rangers, Carlisle sneaking there, West Lockman, Whitley Bay. There's some fantastic games between them teams as well, chasing them playoff pack, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think what we learned, certainly our first season in the first division, was there's just no easy games. There's no, and there's no disrespect to Division 2 whatsoever. But I remember the year we got promoted, you know, the sad scenes of, you know, they had the Durham Cities and these sides at the bottom, which obviously 99 times out of 100 teams were just going and beating and rolling over. We've learned over the last 2 years, you've got to really be at it every single couple of days, whoever you play, home or away, because there's no mugs, like. So it is a tough league, like Bryce says. I think Bishop's, fair play to Chris and Leon at the side they've got. They were certainly the best side in the league that we played. We managed to beat them at home, but they certainly, like I said, they've done a job on us again away. I went and watched them actually against Bryce at Berkeley, because we played them 3 days later. And they were like Real Madrid, weren't the Price in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
I don't fancy this in 3 days' time.
But you've got a good result against them, didn't you, though?
It was lashing down with rain on the Wednesday. And I was thinking, a bit more couple of days of rain, we could get this off Saturday. Like, I don't fancy playing there. But they come to our place and we beat them 2-1. And like I said, deservedly so. And our home record, to be fair, this season, we haven't lost since July at home, and that's probably what's got us over the line eventually. But yeah, I think Bishops were the standout side. And I think, yeah, you've probably got your Shildons, Bertleys, West Auckland. I thought Carlisle twice were really good against us. I thought Whitley Bay were excellent against us twice, to be fair. But like I said at the start, there was never any easy games, if I'm totally honest. Which again makes the achievement even bigger, that you can go on with these sort of clubs that you've got, your Redcars, your West Aucklands, and all these sides, and get promoted from it, which is huge for a club like us.
Definitely. And Ollie, yourself, obviously looking on from Division 2 at the teams in Division 1, did you get many games and any standout teams for yourself?
To be honest with you, I did watch me fair few. Obviously, we concentrated mainly on Division 2, and I couldn't tell you how many games I watched.
I've seen you plenty around the hub, didn't we?
Yeah, just doing my own work. And it worked out nicely that you could go to the hub and watch nearly every team in the division towards the end, so it wasn't just one team. But looking at the division above, like I say, some really good teams. I went to watch Bishop Auckland against West Auckland in the FA Cup at West, and probably's one of the most well-oiled machines I've seen at that level, even when I played. In possession, out of possession, I thought they were outstanding. And you can tell why they won the league. Obviously, the teams underneath, like top competitors. Didn't really see much of it. However, though, I went up to Dino's final against West. I went to the West Wickham Challenge Cup final, and I was really impressed with West. Really impressed. I thought they were outstanding on the night. I thought they got some really talented individuals. So I was expecting a really good game, and no disrespect to West, but I thought Heaton were just better in every department. I thought they were solid. I thought they were really well drilled, really well organised, especially out of possession of the ball. And they've just got them moments of magic. I think obviously Connor's goal was outstanding. I thought the big lad, Leighton, was tremendous on the day. But just real good sides. And touching on what Dino said there, there's no easy game in the division. So obviously you step up in class and quality. Bryce is right what he's saying. Last season in the second division, you kind of single out 2 players that you have to try and nullify, 1 or 2. Next season, I look and you're playing them teams like Shildon and teams like that, West Auckland's, Rikers, Berkeley's. They're going to strengthen, so it's going to be a tough ask. But like I say, Brycer and also Borough Rangers have proved that. And obviously Dino got promoted from the second division, and look at the teams that's gone up. They've all done really well. So it's possible. It's just about getting things right and making sure pre-season's good. But some top teams, Bishop Auckland being superb. But the next 5 or 6 down from that, also real high quality operators.
Yeah, and I think looking at the 2 teams going up, Paul, Bishop and Heaton, it's not kind of can they survive, it's how high they can actually finish in the next league. That's how confident we are looking at the football pyramid in the North East now, aren't we?
100%. Yeah. I think
Bryce,
it's highly team. No. I think you've seen Newton Aycliffe last year. They started a little bit slowly, but then they put a great run together, and I think they just missed out in the playoffs at the end. And honestly, I think the two teams, Bishop and Heaton, can follow suit there. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, we're just looking forward to the competition next season, Dean.
Yeah, it's the unknown, isn't it? It's obviously you've got the local sides around here, which we all kind of know enough about, and the individuals. And we're saying before about stopping 1 or 2 players and stuff. I'd imagine in that league you probably need to go and stop 8 or 9. Which look, we just want to rise to the challenge and we just want to enjoy it. Pretty much spoken to every single player that we've had last season. We've kept 95% of them, and I think the one thing that me and Andy have really lent on is, look, you've earned the right now to go and play in this level. Let's just go and do it. Let's go and embrace it as a club. Let's go and enjoy these. Everyone talks about the travelling and this, that, and the other. Let's just go and enjoy it. Let's go and enjoy the travel. Let's go and enjoy going to places that we haven't been before, and let's go and try and win football matches. Like Ollie can say, he's went down to one of the toughest places in the league to go, one of the best grounds in the league to go, and what a feeling being on the pitch at the end after winning in the playoff final with players in there and the togetherness of the show on the pitch at the end. That's what we need to go and now show for the next 42 weeks in a league that we've never been a part of. So we look forward to it. We can't wait. We need to strengthen. We have already with a couple of agreements and a couple more hopefully to come. And like I say, the one thing that we will do is we'll hopefully not just go and make the numbers up, but we'll give it a right good go and see how far we can go with it.
Yeah, and I think as well on Monday night we were speaking to Bobby Moore and Craig Lynch, more from head managers, Ollie, and they kind of said now with the football pyramid, it's with the younger players back in the future, it's kind of that, like Steph from Northern League, it was kind of 2-3 divisions you had to jump up, where now you've got that next division. Young lads now, they want to go out and progress and try and climb the pyramid. Same with managers as well. It's exciting now, isn't it? Massively.
I never understand players who say I don't want to travel. Like for me, I think they're some of your best days in football. I remember when obviously I used to travel the length and breadth of the country, all over the place, and you're on the team bus with the lads, and you've had a really positive result, and a couple of drinks are flowing on the way back, and they're your best times in football, and you'll never ever get them back. So for me, I think the travelling will only enhance what you've got. You've already got a together group, and the travelling it'll further that, because the lads are spending more time together, and you want them to be like family. That's especially how I explain it to my players. It's one of the first things that I said when I went into Easington was, a lot of people say like Sunday footballs, you play with your mates, and so why can't that be on a Saturday? So like, why can't it be? And socialising with the lads and getting group gatherings and things that I'm massive on. So, but for me, you want to play as high as you can, and if any player doesn't, then they're not programmed the right way. But it'll be a challenge. But I've watched Dean's side. They'll be absolutely fine in the division above. I've watched a couple of games with obviously friends playing and things like that. Spoke to a couple of managers, and basically all they say is every team's got somebody who can throw the ball the length of the pitch from a long throw-in, and there's not much football played. A lot of teams try and go a little bit more direct, a little bit more route one. I don't think it'll be a massive jump for Dean's team. I think they'll more than hold their own, and they'll definitely surprise a few. And I expect them to be up there come into the season. I do.
Oh, brilliant. And before we get into Division 2, I just want to say a massive thank you everyone that's watching so far. A massive crowd tonight. So thank you very much for your support as always. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already as well. So we're getting on Division 2 now. And Dean, start with yourself. Blythetown, Michael and Gav done a cracking job there. I think obviously, yes, a lot of good players there, wages spent, but there's still a lot of pressure on to say, right, you've now got to go out and win that league. What was your thoughts on Blyth at the end of the season?
You do, and like I say, like Ollie said before about money, money doesn't always get you where you need to be, and certainly from a first division perspective, without just picking names out, that I think in the summer everyone had thought Redcar would go and blow away the competition because of the money that they're spending. It doesn't always work that way. So, like I said, Mickey and Gav, yes, they've got a few quid, which I fair play to them. But you've got to recruit the right people. And Ollie mentioned before about recruiting people. He didn't say players, he said people, and that's so important. Getting the right people into your dressing room to ensure that you can go and create something to go and win football matches. And that's what they've clearly done. And let's be honest, with the sides at the top of that league, with Ollie's included, there's some good sides in that second division, and they've blew away the competition, haven't they, really? They've won it at the canter. Obviously, they've got the Senior Cup final, they've done well in the Vars. So, yeah, I think they thoroughly deserve to win it. I watched them a couple of times. They play some good stuff. Got some real good individuals, and it'll be interesting to see, because I wouldn't imagine they'll sit on the laurels. I think they'll probably go and spend another few quid again. And hey, they'll go and try and give the first division a go, which fair play to them. They're a progressive club. They've got, like I say, a good manager in Gavan and Michael. With some, like I say, the core of players they've got. If they can't go and add to it, I can't see why they can't give that first division a right good go. Yeah,
I mean, speaking of Gavan a few times last season, I think he was out any time when there was a match on trying to scout who was playing next, the best players. And when you put that hard work in it, it's more rewarding, isn't it, when that title comes in the season? Look, I've put the hours in to get that title, isn't it?
Yeah, and like I said, I've seen Gav in a lot of games. And like Ollie said before, it's imperative that you do get out and you get the games, as many as you possibly can. And it doesn't go down well in the family, obviously, when you're out Tuesday, Wednesday. But it is important. And like I say, we were down at Chilton on a Thursday night watching them in the playoff semi-final and stuff like that, which, look, it's not ideal, but it's things that you have to do if you want to be successful at this level. So yeah, he does a lot of homework, Gav, and look, he's a good coach. He knows what he's doing. He was a good player back in the day. He's obviously won the Vars and stuff, and he's got good pedigree. And in there with Mickey, who's wears his heart on his sleeve and again knows what he's doing with a few quid behind them. Like I say, I think the sky's the limit for them.
Yeah, and Paul, I mean, you mentioned the playoffs. I know you were involved in them last season in Division 2, but fantastic game. Blue Star, Easton, Bedlington and Horden again, 4 great sides and a great final as well. Very tasty game, but obviously we've just been chatting before the show there, the finals played, but then both teams goes up. What was your thoughts on it at the end?
Again, I just thought the league knows before this, or the league should know that they're going to put the 2 divisions to 22. So work out the format from that. The top 2 go up automatically. Then you have your playoff. That was just my thought. I think it happened a couple of years ago. I think Dino Heatonstown had beat Tolo in the final, I think, and Tolo ended up going up as well. I just think the league needs, before a ball was kicked this year, or before a ball's kicked any year, you should know how many's going up, which way they're going up, and how many's going down. There was still halfway through the season in the first division, they were still saying 2 might be going down, 3 might be going down, or there's just 1 going down. How? That's like clubs, management, players. They should know what their destiny is going to be, and not at the end of the season. But hey, that's just my thoughts. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, it was quite sad as well to see. Obviously, when Brandon put the statement out the other day saying they were going down after so many years in the Northern League, when teams are being pushed down divisions, moved across divisions, it was quite sad to see like a team like Brandon with the history just dropping out the league like that, wasn't it? Yeah. Again, that's such a shame. But then you're going on about the clubs that's coming up. I'm really pleased Annex coming up. It was one of my favourite when I played. It was one of my favourite grounds, and I've always enjoyed going up there since. And they've obviously been out the league a few years now, so I'm pleased to say they're back in the Northern League. But as you say, it's such a shame for sides like Brandon and teams like that, you know. Yeah, and I think last season, well, Ollie, Division 2, very strong, some cracking sides, cracking managers as well, young managers coming through. Apart from obviously the teams that were challenged at the top of the playoffs, we had some cracking teams chasing behind that, like Chelsea Street, Billington, Thonia, a great run that they had. The new teams coming up, the Arm FC, Hartlepool, Esh, Jarrah as well, some cracking sides. Who was kind of the standout teams above that, below the playoff pack for yourself?
There were some really, really good teams in the division. I feel sorry for a few as well. Obviously, what Bryce has said there about because another team could have competed in those playoffs. You know, you sort of they've worked hard all season, and then they kind of could have had a pop at the playoffs. So I feel sorry for the Chester Towns and the Billy Sinners and the Yarman Eagles, Cliff, the ones who were kind of just underneath that bracket a little bit, who maybe could have had their moment. But for me, and do you know what it is? I'm probably really honest on results. We played a really good Brighton and Crawcrook side at our place. I think it was 6-1. We got beat. They were a real well-oiled machine. Really physical, really organised. Had some very, very good individuals. So I always enjoy playing against Brighton. It was always a really, really tricky game. Obviously, Yarman Eagles, Cliff, we failed to beat. We didn't beat them. I think we lost 2-0 at their place, and we drew at our place. Really tough side to play against. Very organised, very physical. And for probably what their resources are, probably massively overachieved and had a really, really good season. So those would probably be the two teams that was the trickiest of opponents outside the playoff pack. And for a little outside bet was FC Hartlepool. Now we did really well against FC. We drew first game of the season and we beat them down there, place 3-1. But very, very good side, very young, fit, athletic. Play some good football. So FC Hartlepool were decent as well. But just going back to the playoffs, in terms of how it happened, it is like I say, it should be organised pretty early so teams know where they stand. I think, like, I'm not really bothered about it, to be honest with you. I said before we came on the show, it doesn't really bother me in the slightest because, like I say, we were on the end of the right result. So I've got no real issues with it. It's just kind of just that communication line so teams know where they are before a ball's even kicked. And it just gives clarity. It gives a little bit of clarity for the teams that are chasing and what's going to be. Because I heard early on in the season that 2 were going to be promoted and then the next 4 were playoffs. And then obviously that never came, but then it's ended up being that way. But yeah, it is what it is. But like I said, please, it doesn't really affect me too much.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the playoffs, well, Ollie. I mean, look at the relegation. I mean, we mentioned Brandon not long ago, but it was the same last 3-4 weeks of the season. Will 2 go down? Will 3 go down? And them teams that you see now at the minute dropping out the Northern League, you'll always see them have a poor season in the Wayside League because they're just not used to that drop out in the Northern League. They've got to give teams a bit more time to prepare for things like this, don't they?
Absolutely. I think it needs to be communicated earlier. So kind of what you're playing for. Is it going to be bottom 3 relegated? Is it going to be bottom 2? And then teams know what they're kind of preparing for. And then once your season finishes, you're kind of playing sort of the waiting around, and you don't really know where your fate lies. Are you going to get a reprieve? Because I know Durham City, one of my old clubs, they got a few reprieves a couple of years where they didn't go down, and our club's expecting that sort of route if they're in the bottom sort of 2. But it needs to be communicated earlier. And like I say, I understand that it's tough to balance the pyramid out across the country, but need to have some kind of idea of what we're playing for before a ball's even kicked. Because a lot of people I've heard on social media saying Blue Star deserve to go up anyway because they finished second and all that. Well, no. The reason is it's the winners go up in the next 4 playoffs. If that was the rule before the season was kicked, then no problem. Second should have went up if that was the rules. But everyone knew of previous seasons gone by that top goes up. Next 4 compete in the playoffs. Because I've seen a few comments saying, "Oh, well, Blue Star deserve to go up because they finished second." Well, just like little things that kind of gives people false hope of what they like, what they want to get out the season. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it is. It just needs communication a little bit better, to be honest.
Yeah, I think as well, they look at Division 2 next season with the teams that has gone up. It's going to be well open. Obviously, still got a couple of teams in there that are holding the belt in, but you've got some cracking teams who's going to look at them now, saying, right, we've got a really good chance next season, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely. I've seen the leagues when they got released the other day, and I mean, I looked at the First Division 1 first and all and thought, I'm so glad we got out there when we did, because that's going to be a real tough one. But yeah, that second division, it looks as open as it's probably been for a long time. I think the year we went up, it was tough. There was some real top sides. There was some really fancied sides. Again, last year, the same with Ollie, there was probably 5 or 6 which you thought for 2 or 3 of them anyway will be the ones to do it. Looking at that list there, I'm not sure. You know, that there's some, like Paul said about Anik, they'll give it a go. I don't know a great deal about the other lads who've come up from the other leagues, but it looks like it's going to be a wide open one. Now, you do tend to see when the summer starts that maybe 1 or 2 teams recruit better, had a huge sponsors, an influx of cash, and they go and kind of recruit really well. And again, it's going to be who recruits the best and who can obviously start the season the best and who'll go on to win it. You'd fancy Horden, I think, looking at that league, like Ollie says. I think you'd fancy Wrighton. I think Bex has got a decent side there now. They've got some good players at the end of the season well, so they're going to want to really kick on next year. And then from that, I think, like you say, you're looking at Sinners, you're looking at them sort of side, Bedlingtons, who really want to probably think, could it be their year this year? So, yeah, I think we're really wide open. And it could be anyone's.
Southern West End. I'm on the committee now. Back the board.
told us to see them then.
I'll hide Chelsea Street Town in just because it's my old team.
Yeah.
Aye, to be fair,
and I do actually think they will. I think they will do well.
Bowser's got a really good team, hasn't he? He's had a good year last year. I think they were a bit unlucky, weren't they, towards the end of the season. It just fell out with them playoff places after probably occupying them for large parts of it. So I know, like I say, he's going to go and try and have a decent summer. So I was going to say Chester next before Bryce. I mentioned them. But I think, like I say again, Chester will have a right good go. So yeah, I think it's going to be a real decent league, that second division, 100%.
Definitely. Like you say, Paul, some of the new sides coming into the both divisions next season, obviously Kendal Town, Marsk, Anik, Darlton Town, Grange Town Boys Club as well. It's going to be exciting for them teams to come and see what they can do, but also for yourself. Are you still going to be going to look around a few games as well?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I'll still be around and taking games in. Yeah, and you know when we're talking before, when Dean and Ollie says, "Oh, they've never stopped." I had a little trip to Benidorm for my birthday, but since I've come back, my phone's never stopped. But it's actually quite refreshing, and it's other managers' phone and asking like my opinion, what so and so like, and I just thought, yeah, it's like nice that as well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, really good. And some of them teams that you mentioned, I know Kendall's put a kind of say that they're not happy to come across. You've got Mars dropping back down there. But like you say, it's exciting with the 3 teams that's then going to come into the Northern League. I can imagine, like most teams that has came up, they're going to give it a good go, aren't they?
100%. As you say, both Blythe and Blue Star heavily backed. Obviously, Ollie as well. Honestly, the two lads that's on the panel tonight, Dino's side, Ollie's side, they're really well organised. They both know the game. They get the best out their players. And as I say, I think Dean will do well, and I think Ollie will do very well in the first division as well. I really do, and I'm not just saying that.
Excellent. And Dean as well, we were speaking to both managers on Monday night and they said how busy it's been already. I know there was a few crack and smile. I think Bobby had a couple of players signed already, but he couldn't mention the names live, obviously, on the show. But as you mentioned there, I could imagine since that full-time whistle, the phones never stop getting players retained for next season. Can people travel? Can people do this? We're going to bring in 2 or 3 players in. I bet it's been non-stop for you.
Yeah, it's very different to previous summers, purely because you've got to now factor in, like I say, the travel and ultimately trying to sign lads who, let's be honest, you probably wouldn't have tried to sign in the first division because they probably are a level above and this, that and the other. So now all of a sudden looking at the likes of Dunstan and looking at them sides and looking at the concepts and Ashertons and Aycliffes of, is there players there that we can try and recruit? So yeah, it's been very, very different. I'll be honest. Andy plays a huge part in that, a massive part. He gets on the phone straight away. He speaks to, like I say, that a lot of the lads from last year and ensures that we know what their plans are and kind of where they see it, and looks after kind of travel and who can travel, who can't, looks at kind of what their life's like away from football to ensure that we can ultimately move together. Because I think, like Ollie will see now, we're going up, and Bryce, I certainly see with Berkeley going up as well. you've just got to go and look after your own first of all. If you can go and keep what you've got and retain what you've got, or as much as you possibly can what you've got, and add where you can, it's half the battle. It really, really is. And we've had a squad of 22, 23 players get us to the highest level the club have ever had. And like I said before, them players now have earned the right to go and give it a go, and deserve to go and try and pull the shirt on come August to try and get us some points in the league as well. So we've put that first and foremost to ensure that we speak to them all. I don't know how many of them I kept having conversations in Benidorm, like, but we've spoken to them all since. And like I say, we are keeping a huge proportion of the players will be staying, which is great. But yeah, it's a busy time. We say we don't enjoy it, but I'm sure Ollie and Bryce have been in the game long enough. We love it, really. Do you know what I mean? That's what we want to do. We want to speak to players. We want to speak to our current players. We love it. It is a family, like Ollie said. So you want to speak to them every day. You want to make sure they're happy. You want to make sure we know where we're at. And then come the middle of June when you're back in, you know what you've got. You know what your target's on. You know what you want to get to, and hopefully we can build a site to do that.
Yeah, and it's yourself as well, Ollie, is down the hub when we chatted about possibly going up. You said you need to keep that core of the squad, give them a chance, but you kind of just bring 5 or 6 players in because the harmony just goes out the team, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Sort of. I'm not looking at ripping everything up, to be honest with you. I fully trust me players. I fully trust me players to go and play in the next level. I do. I think, like I said before, I think I said a good few minutes ago about the recruitment was smart. I wanted to try and create the best side at Division 2 level. And normally the best sides at Division 2 level can cope in Division 1. So we're not looking to recruit too much. I'll be brutally honest with you. I've told me players the same. We haven't lost anybody. So that's a bonus. Everybody's staying on board, and like I say, we'll only look to add what we need. But it'll be very, very minimal. With not a lot of fuss. I don't really want to go out and spend far too much when these players have gave me absolutely everything since day one I took the job, and they deserve the opportunity to go and compete in the division above. And if you look across my squad, and especially me lads who are current, a lot of them have got Division 1 experience. We've kind of brought them down from that level and managed to be smart that way. So, like I say, it's difficult because you've got to get the balance right. But at the same time, the most important thing for me is the dressing room. Then if you go and add 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to an already successful side, it just it creates animosity. It creates a little bit of nervousness, which the players don't need and the players don't deserve, because the players have been outstanding. So we'll be doing very minimal business, but the business that we do, hopefully, we're speaking to 1 or 2, but it'll be smart business and obviously fit into the group straight away, ready to get going in June.
Oh, excellent. Well, lads, Paul, Dean and Ollie, thank you very much for coming on the show tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure looking back over the season. Paul, obviously wish you the massive best of luck in retirement. I know you'll be out as many games possibly than what you went to last season. But Dean and Ollie, like you say, wish you the very best of luck in your new divisions next season. Hopefully, fingers crossed, all goes well for you on the pitch.
Thank you very much.
Smashing.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks a lot, lads. Cheers, James.
Thank you very much.
All the best, lads.
Brilliant. So we're back tomorrow night, myself and Dan as well, to go over our show, and then our final show next week. Looking back with Steve and Stuart, and who's had a lot of stick on Facebook, Stone Cold Steve Austin and everything. So there should be a crack one. Lots of people watching on, giving plenty of stick. But why? What a way to go at the end of the season. Why not? But no, thank you very much for watching tonight, everyone. Hope you enjoy the rest of your night as well.